baby bus!
Crime lies hidden in the puzzle, and the truth emerges through reasoning. Detective Stories of Inspector Chimp.
The case of the poisoned boxing champion.
Go! Go, Ty, go!
A chubby little chick sat in the stands with the other spectators, waving his plump little wings. He watched the boxing match unfold in the ring. Tai Chong, a bouncy, powerful kangaroo, faced off with Wei Li, a stout, powerful tiger. The contest had just reached a critical stage. Both animals were breathing hard as they stared at one another. Neither wanted to admit defeat. Wei couldn't keep his cool any longer. His fist flew at Tai with a whoosh. Tai stayed calm. He turned agilely, dodging the punch. In the same move, he landed a blow on Wei's belly.
And the match goes to Tai!
Wei lay face down on the floor, unmoving. Tai raised his hands high overhead. The spectators exploded in applause and cheering. Raleigh danced on his seat, shouting Tai's name over and over. He couldn't believe it. Just one more win and his hero, Tai the Pouch Chong, would be the new Sylvan boxing champ. Nobody noticed that a dark shadow sat in the corner, and he was not cheering. He pulled his hat lower and gritted his teeth.
Just you wait, Tai. I'll show you. You don't stand a chance of winning the Sylvan boxing champ title.
The corridor was long. Raleigh tiptoed down it. He gripped a pen, hoping to slip unnoticed into Tai Chong's lounge to get his hero's autograph. The abrupt laughter startled Raleigh, making him jump.
Congratulations, Tai!
It was Stallone Black, a compact, powerful panther. He was scheduled to be Tai's opponent in the title fight the next day. He was known as a cruel fellow. When he fought in a match, the referee often had to pull him off his opponent, even after the match had been called. He did not just like to win, but also to humiliate the other fighter. But for now, he was laughing and chatting with Tai.
Thank you! Being the Sylvan boxing champ has been my dream since I was small. Now, I finally have the chance to fight for it.
You think you'll defeat me and win the title? Dream on!
Evil thoughts floated through Stallone's mind as Tai talked, but he smiled and hid his evil intent.
That's great, Tai! Oh, before I forget, I have a gift for you.
Stallone took out a table lamp in the shape of a boxing glove and gave it to Tai. Tai accepted his gift happily.
Just you wait, Pouch. You'll see what my muscles can do soon enough.
Stallone patted Tai on the shoulder and said,
Okay, I won't take up any more of your time. Congratulations on your win today, and best of luck in our match tomorrow.
Stallone got up, ready to leave. When Raleigh saw the panther heading toward the door, he thought,
Oh, my chicken! If he sees me here eavesdropping, I'm going to be in big trouble. I better get out of here.
The chubby little chick gave up on getting the autograph he had come for. He turned tail and scampered out.
Time to get up.
Early the next morning, Raleigh woke up. He prepared to watch the match between Stallone and Tai. He poured himself a cup of milk, made himself some toast, and turned on the TV.
Breaking news, Tai Chong has been hospitalized. It has been reported that he is in a coma. The doctor's preliminary diagnosis is...
Raleigh dropped his cup on the floor. Milk splattered everywhere. Inspector Charles Chimp stood at the door of Tai's house, wearing his signature windbreaker and a huge hat. He held a magnifying glass up to his eye and looked at the door. Here it was, the day of the match. and Tai the Pouch Chong had been sent to the hospital in such serious condition. It looked like he would not be able to fight for the title of Sylvan Boxing Champ after all.
Seal off the crime scene. Don't let anyone who isn't working on the case take even one step inside this tape. And inform Ty's family of what's happened. You, go to the hospital and stand guard at Ty's room. Let me know the minute he wakes up.
Inspector Chimp issued instructions to his team, assigning jobs to everyone. When everything had been organized, he opened the door to Ty's house. All the windows were closed up tightly, and everything was neat, tidy, and in perfect order, as if nothing had happened.
I've heard that Ty's a clean freak. This proves it. Look how neat and orderly this place is.
Inspector Chimp was amazed at the tidiness of the house. He held up his magnifying glass and started carefully inspecting the place.
There are footprints scattered all over the floor left by various animals. It seems they all wore the same kind of shoes, and they're fresh. Those are the uniform shoes given out by the Sylvan Hospital. Those must have been left by the emergency medical team. Let me look over there. The windowsill is clean, nothing suspicious. The sofa.
The search was soon completed. Only one area remained. Inspector Chimp walked to the spot where Tai had fainted. On the dining table was a lamp and an apple with just a few bites taken from it. The inspector picked up the apple and looked at it under his magnifying glass. There were a few black dots around the bite mark.
Looks like this apple is the cause of our problem.
Inspector Chimp was as disappointed as the rest of the town. He had been looking forward to the match later that day.
Inspector Chimp, we caught a suspicious fellow lurking in the area. You might want to check this out.
Bring him in.
Inspector Chimp waved his big hand at the officer. Soon, the man returned, and he was escorting a chubby little fellow with yellow feathers into the room.
Rolly-wee. What are you doing here?
When Raleigh saw Inspector Chimp, his whole face seemed to light up.
I'm Ty the Pouch Chong's greatest fan! I came here to see if I could be of any help!
Release him.
The officer released Raleigh. Inspector Chimp said firmly,
Rolly, no one is allowed here except the police. It's a crime scene. It isn't safe and you shouldn't be here. You don't need to worry. I've already found a suspicious apple that seems to be the source of the poisoning.
No! How can that be?
The sharpness of Raleigh's question startled Inspector Chimp. The little chick went on.
Ty the Pouch Kong is a professional boxer. His diet is controlled by professional dietitians. He couldn't have accidentally eaten something poisonous, especially not right before a match.
Inspector Chimp wanted to believe this, but the evidence was right in front of him. He felt helpless.
Don't worry, Rolly. Just trust the police. We'll trace this poisoned apple back to its source and we'll be sure justice is served.
Inspector Chimp was gesturing confidently when he suddenly stopped talking. His face turned pale, and sweat broke out on his forehead. Bam! The next thing anyone knew, he had fainted and fallen flat on the floor.
Inspector Chimp? What's wrong? Are you okay?
Call an ambulance, now!
No! Ty the Pouch Chong was poisoned on the day of the championship
Oh,
match!
that's awful.
Could such a
Yes,
thing happen?
it is!
Does that mean Stallone Black wins without a fight? I was hoping Ty would
Me
win.
too. What a shame.
Scandal!
Night fell. A chubby figure wearing a surgical mask came to the door of Tai Chung's house. It was Raleigh Wee. He carried Inspector Chimp's magnifying glass. His mind kept replaying what Inspector Chimp had said to him at the hospital that afternoon.
Rolly, you're Ty's biggest fan, so you must know a lot about him. I'm going to appoint you as a special assistant, but just for this case, okay? Take my magnifying glass and go back to Ty's house. You've got to figure out what is behind his poisoning, but be careful.
Don't worry, Inspector Chimp! I won't let you down!
Raleigh gripped the magnifying glass. It was obvious that the apple could not have been the cause of the poisoning. Inspector Chimp had not eaten it or anything else in the house, but had been poisoned just like Ty. Whatever caused it was still in the house. Raleigh pushed open the door and walked inside. In the dim moonlight, he examined the suspicious area. Before long, he came to the spot where Inspector Chimp had fainted, right beside the kitchen table.
Oh, my chicken! It's so dark in here. I can't see a thing. Let me turn on the lamp.
Raleigh pressed the button on the lamp. Click! Light filled the room. The apple still lay on the table. Raleigh picked up the apple and examined the bite marks. The light in the room was still quite dim, so Raleigh moved closer to the lamp for a better look. As he did so, he noticed little black spots on the bulb in the lamp, just like those on the apple.
Huh? Ty is known for his cleanliness. He wouldn't leave black spots on the light bulb. Wait! This lamp! Stallone gave it to him just last night. How did it get dirty so fast?
An idea began to take form in Raleigh's mind. He took out the magnifying glass and examined the light bulb and poisoned apple carefully. It was true. The black spots on the apple really were identical to those on the light bulb. Everything was clear to him now.
I've got it!
Stallone Black lay on the sofa in his house, happily humming a tune as he watched TV. The news channel kept reporting news about Tai Chong's coma. Stallone was happy.
Ty, you've been acting like a big shot, dreaming of becoming the boxing champ. Now that you're in the hospital, I'm the Sylvan boxing champ.
He couldn't help but laugh as he thought of it. Someone pounded on his door, interrupting Stallone's pleasant daydream. Impatient, he opened the door.
Who's there? What do you want?
With a click, Stallone's hands were caught in handcuffs.
Who are you? What's going on?
A crowd stood at his door. Stallone Black raised his cuffed hands in protest.
We're the Sylvan Police! We're the Sylvan Police!
Inspector Chimp and Raleigh stepped out from the crowd. Inspector Chimp's face was still pale, but he stood upright and tall. His sharp eyes made Stallone take a step back. Inspector Chimp pointed at his badge, then pointed at Stallone.
I say in the name of justice that you are the one who poisoned Tai Chong.
Me? That's crazy! Ty and I are good friends. Why would I poison him?
Stallone jumped up, and the veins on his forehead popped out.
Is that right? Rolly, show him.
On Inspector Chimp's orders, Raleigh showed the Panther 2 items, the glove-shaped lamp and the poisoned apple. As soon as he saw them, Stallone's face turned pale.
Do these look familiar?
Raleigh pulled out a surgical mask and put it on. Turning back to the crowd, he said,
Look, everyone! I'll show you how he did it!
With a click, he turned on the lamp. A lot of little black spots showed up on the lamp. Those on the apple became more obvious too.
He put poison on the lamp! When Ty turned it on, the temperature from the bulb increased and the poison began to evaporate into the air, turning into a poisonous gas. He knew Ty loved to eat apples, and he knew the apple would absorb the poisonous gas. That meant the police would suspect whoever provided the apple, not Stallone.
He turned to Stallone.
Isn't that right?
Stallone Black, you have the right to remain silent.
Stallone struggled to say something. Inspector Chimp stepped up to him.
Let me tell you, before we came here, we checked your records, and we found that you recently bought some toxic chemicals.
What?
Inspector Chimp's words were a big blow to Stallone. He was like a deflated balloon. Looking down, he said reluctantly,
That's all true, but how did you figure it out?
Raleigh raised his head proudly and said,
You planned carefully, but you forgot what a neat freak Ty is. He never even opens his windows so that dust can't get in. That meant the poison was trapped in his house. So when Inspector Chimp went in, it made him faint too.
Be sure justice is...
Inspector Chimp put a hand on Raleigh's shoulder.
That clue let Rolly know we needed to keep looking. It couldn't have been the apple since I didn't eat any of it. So I sent him back to your house to inspect again.
When Stallone heard that, he was shocked. He said,
I'm sorry, I was wrong. When I saw Ty's match last week, I knew I couldn't beat him in the ring, but I didn't want to give up my title. I really wanted to remain the Sylvan boxing champ, so I cheated. I'll face my punishment now.
The truth was finally out. Inspector Chimp and Raleigh watched as Stallone was taken away in the back of a police car. They both made faces as he left.
Rolly, you did well. I'm proud of you.
Inspector Chimp, you just got out of the hospital. You should go home and rest.
Don't worry, I'm fine now.
Inspector Chimp patted Raleigh's shoulder and grew serious.
Rolly, I seem to remember you telling me you wanted to learn to solve cases.
Yes, I said that. Wait, Inspector Chimp, do you mean?
Yes, that's what I mean.
Mamma mia, yes!
Inspector Chimp turned to walk away. He called over his shoulder.
Come on, kid. Time to get to work. If you can keep up with me, you'll soon learn to be a great police officer.